the event is finally over, and to nobody's surprise, the Crimson Cats won. Wow, this is the biggest surprise since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl once again. And of course, my team, Giant Feet, came in absolute last place, despite me 100%ing the event. But that's not important because today I 100%ed the entire event, and I'm going to make the greatest tier list of all time. Now, before we start, I just want to say that this was the most miserable grind I think I've ever done for an event. The hunt was okay, the classic was great, but this was so bad. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm the only star creator out there to actually 100% the event. Everybody else that I knew has said they tapped out. So I think I'll give myself a pat on the back for contributing absolutely nothing to society. All right, let's get started. All right, here we have all 50 games. Now, if you noticed, I have 5 tiers here. I have S tier, A tier, solid, the bare minimum, and should have not been in the event. Everybody, stop what you're doing and take a lucky guess on how many games are going to be in this category, because it's going to be a lot. So let's just start. First one, we have Adopt Me. Honestly, the bare minimum. Adopt Me did the bare minimum. It took me maybe like, I want to say 10-15 minutes to complete the event, and all it was like 3 little mini games where you were just doing the same thing over and over and over again until you got what you needed. Yeah, it was the bare minimum. It was something. All right, our next game here. Ooh, we have, I'm pretty sure this is Dress to Impress. In fact, let me double check. Dress to Impress. Yeah, that's Dress to Impress. Okay. They actually did a pretty good job with this. So essentially, you had to do an obby, a race, and I think that was really about it. And it was all custom made. Honestly, Dress to Impress. It also was the #1 game. It was solid. Bee Swarm Simulator. You know, Bee Swarm Simulator, I would say, is a solid event because, yes, they had the same core gameplay loop, but they added something onto the gameplay loop. So you actually had to do a bunch of different sports, which was really cool. But my favorite one was the golf one because it was a little interesting. However, I'm already really experienced inside Bee Swarm Simulator, so I did this one really, really quick. However, I could see if you weren't good at Bee Swarm or you just didn't start Bee Swarm, that this one could take a while. But honestly, I thought it was pretty solid. Driving Empire. Where do I even start with Driving Empire? Do you guys remember last event where you had to do the same thing over and over and over again for Driving Empire? You remember that? Everybody hated that, right? And you think that surely they wouldn't do the same exact thing. What if I told you that they did the same exact thing but worse? All they did was have a little spot in their lobby that's this obstacle course track, which was randomized, but you could tell they used like 4 different obstacles and they just flipped they randomized the order of what it was going to come in. And yeah, it was just bad. Should not have been in the event. Drive World. Honestly, what the hell was Drive? I gotta look. Oh, it was this one. Drive World, they actually did a solid job. I'll give them, in fact, I'm going to put them in A tier because they actually had 5 different races you had to do, and they were all nice custom-made obstacle courses. Yes, there was a little bit of a grind towards the end, but they were all engaging. They were fun. Honestly, they gave you a free car. I can't complain. Here's another one. This basketball game, I forgot what it was called, but I remember it. But yeah, honestly, I don't know what they did for this. It should have not been in the event. The event for them was just play the game. Embarrassing. Creatures of Centauria. Should have not been in the event. Once again, they didn't add anything remotely interesting. All you had to do for the event there was to get 3 kills with a dragon in the arena. But if you've never played the game before, you're going to get absolutely decimated. I had my viewers just allow me to win, but people have said that this is like one of the worst of them all. Boxing League. Now, I'm gonna get some flack for this, okay? A lot of people said that this was impossible. It was hard. I did it within the first 2 tries, and honestly, it was a really well-made event. Low-key, it was one of my favorites. I feel like they put a lot of effort into it. They had custom bosses. It was nice. Yes, it was hard, but because it's hard, it doesn't mean it's bad. And because of that, I'm going to put it in solid A tier. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite. I would put it in S, but because the general public hates it, I'm going to put it in A tier, but I am going to put it above Drive World. I really like Boxing League. They did an amazing job. This is, I'm pretty sure, Horse Life or Horse Riding Simulator. One of the two. Yeah, another one that should have not been in the event at all. Literally, what was that? It was actually so unbelievably boring. Honestly, the quest part's the easiest part. The hard part's hitting the 5 shinies. Yeah, it just sucked. There was nothing good about it. It just sucked. Blade Ball. Oh, that's another one. Yep, you're going in the should not have been in the event. Nothing special. They had a boss fight. That was cool. Everything else sucked. I don't know what else to say. It was like literally the bare minimum. One of the worst things, however, is the fact that they made it so that the shinies only spawn on certain maps, and it basically turns it into an RNG-based thing. And my stance on RNG events, if you have to have random numbers determine how long your event's gonna be, sorry, it should not be in the event. The boss fight, amazing. I loved it. Sorry, everything else sucked. Should not have been in the event. This race clicking game, do I even need to say? Simulator game should not be in the event. Absolutely nothing good with it. All you did was endless, pointless grinding. Time consuming, waste of time. Don't really remember doing it because it wasn't fun. Next one, arm wrestling simulator. Solid. It was, I know I just said you don't put simulated games in anything, should not have been in the event, but they actually did a somewhat good job because all you had to do really was complete an obstacle course, and there was a little story that had a little while with it, and it was good. It was good. It was a little bit of a grind. There were a few puzzles in there, but it wasn't anything that would take you at a ridiculous amount of time. This literally, maybe you could do this in 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure Creekcraft rated this as like the number 5 easiest game. Easy doesn't mean bad, nor does it mean good, but what they did it perfect. Honestly, it was a solid event. Good stuff. Bad business. Where do I even start with you? You are the bottom of the barrel. Bad business. Oh my god, don't even get me. It makes me so mad even thinking about it. I have an entire video dedicated to just absolutely shitting on the bad business event, but the general rundown is that they gave you a melee that was objectively worse than every single melee in the entire game. It did the least amount of damage. You couldn't backstab with it, and it was a primary. They purposely made it bad so you'd stay in the game longer. They're not even trying to hide it. Honestly, I expected more from bad business. They just dropped the ball on this one. Please never let them into another event ever again, dude. This is why PF on top. Arsenal. Arsenal, easy S tier. Not even. In fact, this should just be, we should rename the S tier to Arsenal. This was by far the best event in the entire game. You put Arsenal in an event and they cook, okay? I'm a Phantom Forces fanboy by heart, but I gotta recognize when I see a good game. They essentially made Arsenal into a roguelike dungeon game. Genius. It was so genius. It had like a casino theme. Everything was so cool. It was ridiculous. It was really fun though. I enjoyed every second of the Arsenal event. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the horse racing game. The horse racing simulator should have not been the event. There was nothing special about it. There was a custom level. They just made it so it was just one big grind fest. If you never did it before, it's gonna take you like 30-40 minutes to beat it, and yeah, it just wasn't fun. Keys. I didn't even know this game existed before this. It should have not been in the event. Nothing special about it. All you did was open doors. That was it. You opened doors. The core gameplay loop is kind of boring, to be honest with you, and the grind really wasn't that fun, so it just should have not been in the event. Horrific housing. Wow, once again, should have not been in the event. It's an RNG-based event, so in theory, yes, you could complete this really fast, but this one, Horrific Housing, was actually my longest one I had to complete. It took me 2 hours to complete because apparently the 60% flood chance isn't actually 60%. I played maybe like 20 to 30 different games within that span of 2 hours, constantly hunting for the flood event. Nothing. I didn't get a single one until the very end, so pretty sure this is the Fitness Gram Pacer Test one. Cool idea. It's also really easy, but seriously, they didn't incorporate really anything crazy. Yes, it was an easy badge, but just because it's an easy badge doesn't make it good. In fact, the entire core gameplay loop was just running back and forth a bunch of times and filling up the quest. Yeah, it shouldn't have been in there. Obby, but you're on a bike. I guess they had a special event, Obby, which is cool, but they didn't expand upon it at all. Like, in fact, I'm pretty sure almost the entirety of all the quests didn't involve the event world, but it actually involved World 1, World 2, and the races. We're gonna go ahead and put Obby in a bike. Should have not been in the event. Eat the World. It was good. It was solid. All you did was really eat and, you know, you do a few things around the map. They added a bunch of secrets in the map. They also had a bunch of Olympic stuff in there. Honestly, pretty good. I would say they hit the bare minimum. There wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah, it was something. Oh, hockey. Honestly, this hockey one's kind of a blur for me. It had nothing really special in it. In fact, I don't think this was a fun one to do, to be honest with you. If I seriously have almost no memory of the event, so I'm assuming it was just play the game. I could be wrong. Somebody in the comments could call me out and say that I didn't actually do the event. But yeah, shouldn't have been in the event, honestly. It's just a sports game. In fact, almost all of the sports games in this list just don't belong in the event. Like this baseball one doesn't belong in the event. It was play baseball. That was it. Yeah, honestly, they didn't really do anything. They had a custom training mode where you had a chance for a shiny to spawn. But besides that, they didn't do anything. There was nothing interesting, nothing memorable about it. Should have not been in the event. Gym League. Don't even get me started on Gym League. Oh my god, Gym League was probably the second longest one I had to do. One, because I had to grind the living hell out of it. But two, they specifically designed it so if you were trying to 100% and collect the shinies, you would have to go through multiple worlds. And that takes forever. Because of the long, miserable grind and adding absolutely nothing to the event, should have not been in the event. Very sorry. Oh, here's one. Is this Real Football 24 or is this Soccer League? One of the two. Honestly, they both didn't add anything. They both the soccer games, it was just soccer. Once again, it's a sports event. It shouldn't have been in the event in the first place. It added literally nothing. The event was play their game. I think this is honestly a common theme with all of these. The common theme is, let's just do the bare minimum or do nothing at all and advertise our game. And hopefully people get hooked on the core gameplay loop. Spoiler alert, nobody did. Football Fusion, dude, I love Football Fusion. Don't get me wrong, shouldn't have been the event. The problem is with Football Fusion is it asks people to play a full game and win it. And full games take a long time, like a long time. And there's also the slight possibility that if you suck, you're just never gonna win. Funky Friday, okay. You know how I said Bad Business was the worst one? No. Funky Friday was the worst one. But essentially, it's way too hard. Anybody who doesn't play rhythm games like me just gets absolutely shafted here. I had to get a friend to do this one for me, just because I couldn't do it. It was just too hard. Even one of my moderators, who's a hardcore Funky Friday player, said the event sucked for them. It just wasn't fun. You should have not been in there. Fishing Simulator. Do I need to say anything? Huge waste of time. Didn't do anything special. Is this even a surprise at this point? Like, come on. Oh god, it's just so bad. I remember doing Fishing Simulator and looking for those damn shark fins and the sharks not spawning or whatever. Not fun. Same thing with the football game or soccer. You score a few goals, do this, do that. Congratulations, you got your badges. Slap battles. A lot of people hate slap battles. However, I'm going to give slap battles a solid because they added a custom game mode of soccer, but it's slap battles. And I honestly thought it was really fun because I won every single game I played because I'm good at it, apparently. A lot of people said they hated it. I can't knock a game for making a completely custom event and it being hard. Like, there's a difference between Funky Friday hard and slap battles hard. Like, you could do this. Let's see here. Track and field. Should have not been in the event. What was the event, you might ask? Run around in circles and press Q and E. This one was Carpool Tunnel Simulator, bro. I can already feel the arthritis in my fingers developing from playing this game. I get it. It was on topic with the games, but like they didn't do anything special for it. It was literally just play the game. Now, what is this one? What is this one? In fact, I have no idea, so we're gonna go look for that. Now, when in doubt, because you don't know which game it is, you're just gonna have to manually look at all of them and hopefully find the right one. Oh my god, no, I messed it up. This is Untitled Boxing Game. So wait, what was the game I put really high up? All right, this is Untitled Boxing Game. This should have been an A. My bad. We'll put a correction in the video, but essentially, this is what I meant by this game. I gotta figure out what this game is. Hold on.
5 minutes later.
Oh, I remember this one. All the memories of this one just came back to me. Should have not been in the event. I remember this, and I remember this one being really painful. This was so bad, my mind tried forgetting about it, but now I remember. Sorry for confusing Untitled Boxing Game with Boxing League. No, Untitled Boxing Game is the game I meant to talk about. All right, tongue battles. I'm gonna be honest with you. Tongue battles is like slap battles, but if slap battles didn't do anything for the event. Tongue battles, all they did was you had to grind a bunch of tongues, and it's fun. The idea of tongue battles is fun. I like it, but just because I like a game doesn't mean it's good for the event, and since they didn't add anything and just made you grind the game, there wasn't a single point of really doing this event. Survive the Killer is a tricky one because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no memory of this one. If it was memorable, I would have put it in the bare minimum. I remember playing all of these games because I just don't remember it. Probably shouldn't have not been in the event in the first place. However, what I do remember is Shark Bite 2 or whatever that game is called. And well, this game was interesting because they did do something. However, that something was also low-key RNG based and that something was only 4 things. They essentially added a bunch of jumps and expected people to be perfectly fine with it, which I guess, you know, it is Roblox. I guess the standards are very, very low. So I guess it might have fooled Roblox into accepting it into the event, but it didn't fool me. It doesn't need to be here. It didn't add anything important to the event that would be like, wow, that was great. Robeats. Robeats is what Funky Friday should have done. I'm going to be honest with you. Robeats, I can't say if they made custom songs for this. So because of that, I can't say that this should have been the event. I simply just don't know if they made custom songs. If they did, then this should be in the bare minimum. Maybe even in the solid category. But if not, I'm gonna just leave it here. Pet catchers. All you do was play the game and catch pets. Wow. Yep, this was extremely innovative. Not. Yeah, it's going in the should have not been in the event category. Speaking of the not should have been in the event category, we have Pull a Sword. Somehow, some way, Pull a Sword has once again let me down. They let me down in the hunt event, and they let me down in this event because all you were doing, believe it or not, was pulling a sword. I already had some stuff done because I grinded the hunt. It still took me like 30-40 minutes to get through this event. So if you didn't do the Pull a Sword hunt event, well, you're just cooked. You know what? We need to establish something right now, okay? We're at a point where these next few lineups of games are just so unbelievably bad that I think they deserve their own category. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am adding another row. I'm gonna call it the Don't Invite Back. We're gonna take some of these games up here and bring them down here. Starting with Bad Business. I hated that event so much, don't bring it back. Driving Empire. We gave Driving Empire 2 chances. In fact, you know what? I'll give Bad Business. Maybe they just had a bad event. All right, maybe we'll switch this out. All right. What we're not switching out was Fashion Famous. That was, oh, this was an RNG based event. It was the most awful garbage. You had at least to wait 4 minutes to do 5 different games, which conveniently adds up to 20 minutes, by the way. I don't know. It seems like they were trying to guarantee their premium payout. So because of that, they're obviously exploiting players and exploiting my time. Don't invite Fashion Famous back. Honestly, any simulator game like this race clicking game, Funky Friday, it was so egregious. I don't know if they deserve a second chance, to be honest with you. Horrific Housing, that was also one of the worst ones. Get it out. Oh yeah, that horse racing game, get it out. Oh yeah, look at this. Now we're really getting to the meat here. But the next one, oh my god, don't even get me started. Get this off my screen. Don't invite back. Epic Minigames was the single one of the most awful, god-awful events ever. They actually started off really good with adding their own little cool custom arcade and added 3 machines. And honestly, I thought the 3 machines would be the 3 badges you needed to get. No. The 3 machines were actually 1 badge, and the rest of the badges were, get this, doing RNG events, and you have to wait until certain maps come out for certain items. Oh, it was just, God, it was a big waste of time. Murderers vs. Sheriffs. I'm pretty sure they had a hub. That's about it, to be honest with you. The event was just, hey, play our game. This one is Be an NPC. I'm gonna say should have not been in the event just because of the simple fact that the badges were pretty hard to get if you weren't cheesing it. It essentially requires you to have like some competence and skill in the game. Honestly, it's really hard, dude. This game is hard. And they didn't really add anything, so yeah. Oh my god, Michael Zombies. And you know how I said Eat the World was my first game I played? No, I remember now, it's Michael's Zombies. This S-tier event, they did everything perfect. They did everything perfect. They made Michael Zombies into an Olympic sport somehow. I don't know how they did it. It was just so good. Everything about it was perfect. 4.2 volleyball, extremely confusing and one of the hardest events to do because it required you to smack somebody in the face, but if you had a friend, it wasn't so bad. Overall, I could definitely live without this one. MRT, I remember this game. Midnight Racing. Yo, I remember this one. They had a cool little event going on with it. They actually had like a little storyline, a little quest going on. They made you do a little work. Yeah, it was a lot of driving around, doing some races, gathering parts. You got a prize for finishing it. It wasn't like the other games where it was like, just play our game, grind this, this, and this. You know, they did the bare minimum. Ultimate Football, I'm gonna put this in bare minimums here because they actually broke away from the whole football thing. which I really liked. Ultimate Football also was in the Hunt event, and I remember people being specifically just not liking this game in particular, but I'm so glad they actually improved and they did something different that everybody could do. So I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Well, voice crack, dude, Jesus. Watermelon Go. Now, Watermelon Go is a tough one because I love the core gameplay loop of Watermelon Go. I really do. The game is so fun. I love every second of it, okay? And look at it. They had like, they gave you a free little ball skin. Dude, how could you not like Watermelon Go? Now, yes, I know. They didn't really add anything to the event to make it interesting. But what could have you add? It's Watermelon Go. Honestly, people are gonna hate me, but I think I deserve one L take per video. And Watermelon Go was one of my favorites, but it was pretty solid. I enjoyed every second of Watermelon Go, and I would do it again. But jump to the moon or whatever, race to the moon or something like that. Yeah, it's a simulator game. You know how it'd be. In fact, this probably shouldn't be in the don't invite back. I don't know why they keep inviting back these simulator games like we want to play them. You know, like I've never heard anybody in the world go like, oh my god, I can't wait to play Fishing Simulator. Moto Rush. This one was actually the lowest rated one for a good little bit until I'm pretty sure Volleyball 4.2 took it. I'm gonna put it because of the negative feedback on this game. Just should have not been in the event. It wasn't hard, but like they could have done something more. Super Golf. Depending on who you ask, is easy or hard. If you did the shines, it's miserable. And I'm also pretty sure they didn't really add anything to the event. It was more like just play our game. Sonic! I don't remember Sonic, to be honest with you. I have almost zero memory of doing this one. And honestly, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. So because of that, it wasn't memorable. Probably should have not been in the event in the first place. Okay, so here is our final list. Now, you know how I said earlier in the video to be tracking how many games you thought would make the bare minimum? Well, congratulations. If you said that 37 games did not make it into the bare minimum, you would be right. But if you weren't, well, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, to be fair, how would somebody expect for there to be this many duds? Only 26% of the event had the bare minimum, meaning that 74% of games absolutely sucked, and you probably shouldn't have played it. 26% isn't a passing grade, by the way. You know, like, it doesn't take a genius to realize that, hey, you know, maybe this wasn't a good event. But yeah, this was by far the most painful grind I think I've ever done, and there will be a very long video coming out sometime relatively soon of me doing this entire event. Yay! All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Goodbye. I'm done.